1940, second edition forward, by Financial Education Publishers. Our prosperity as a nation depends upon the personal financial prosperity of each of us as individuals. This book deals with the personal success of each of us. Success means accomplishments as the result of our own efforts and abilities. Proper preparation is the key to our success. Our acts can be no wiser than our thoughts. Our thinking can be no wiser than our understanding. Gold Ahead has been termed a guide to financial understanding. That indeed is its purpose, to offer those who are ambitious for financial success an insight that will aid them to acquire money, keep money, and making their surpluses earn more money. In the pages which follow, the author takes us back to Babylon, the cradle in which was nurtured the basic principles of finance, now reorganized and used the world over. To the new readers of Gold Ahead, the publishers extend the wish that its pages may contain them the same inspiration for growing bank accounts, greater financial successes, and the solution of difficult personal financial problems as so enthusiastically reported by readers from coast to coast. To the business executives who have distributed the book in such generous quantities to friends, relatives, employees, and associates, the publishers take this opportunity to express their gratitude. No endorsement could be higher than that of practical men who appreciate its teachings because they themselves have worked up to important successes by applying the very principle it advocates. Babylon became the wealthiest city of the ancient world because its citizens were the richest people of their time. They appreciated the value of money. They practiced sound financial principles in acquiring money, keeping money, and making their money earn more money. They provided for themselves what we as individuals all desire: incomes for the future. Gold Ahead. 1937 forward by E. McPherson Cole. Gold Ahead. What thrilling thought these two words arouse. They are our call to action. Immediately we feel an inner stirring, a desire to be off to distant, mysterious places. This urge to seek and find unlimited treasures has led men to the far corners of the earth and has been an important factor in the civilization of out-of-the-way localities. This was the call that started the greatest and most successful treasure hunt in all of history. When Columbus returned to Spain from his discovery of America, he had with him pieces of gold bartered from the natives in the West Indies. The natives did not know its source, vaguely telling him it came from the mainland, where there was plenty more. Columbus wanted Queen Isabel to feel that she had been justified in financing his expedition of discovery, so with flowery speeches he presented his samples to the Queen, explaining the reports of the natives that the mainland was a country of unlimited gold. Spain was electrified at his reports. Expedition after expedition was organized and embarked for the new El Dorado. Thousands followed his trail across the ocean, lured on by the thrill of treasure hunting, enduring stoically the same hardships at which the sailors of Columbus had mutinied, and then, after landing, going on eagerly to greater dangers and more insufferable hardships. We can but marvel at the energy and determination of these early Spaniards. They penetrated as far inland as Oklahoma and Colorado. They crossed the continent to California. Finally, in the heart of Mexico and upon the western slopes of the Andes in South America, they discovered treasures of gold so tremendous as to be far beyond their greatest hopes. Ruthlessly, they took these from their owners, the Aztecs and the Incas, and sent gold back to Spain, actually by the shipload. This was the most successful treasure hunt of all time, carried to a conclusion. In later years, the same call spurred on the gold seekers to cross the continent to California, to the gold diggings of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, and even across the icy passes to the golden sands of the Klondike. In other parts of the globe, the same call brought rushes of eager treasure seekers to Canada, New Zealand, the Transvaal, and innumerable other localities where golden treasures waited to be claimed. The virgin treasures of gold no longer sparkle in out-of-the-way stream beds, awaiting the coming of the prospectors. Those days are over. In his frantic search for the new gold fields, man has fairly well covered the face of the earth. Yet, we still have the instincts of the treasure hunters and the urge to seek and find. At the present time, when it would seem that we are debarred from gratifying our desire to hunt for treasures, there comes to us the dominating character of this book, Arcad, reported, and quite rightly so, to be the richest man in the richest city in the world at the time he lived in Babylon. Arcad, like us, was at heart a treasure seeker. He deeply and sincerely desired to possess much gold. He did not try to deceive himself into thinking that what he really wanted were things much finer than gold. He was practical and knew that gold made possible the finer things he might desire. So he set out to get gold, enough of it to enable him to gratify his own needs and desires, with an ample surplus so he could do good in the world. There were no new gold fields within reach of Babylon, to which this ambitious youth could rush and make his pile. He was confronted with the problem of getting his start from a most humble beginning in building up his fortune right there in Babylon, where jobs paid minimum wages and the competition in all sorts of businesses was just as keen as it has ever been anywhere, before or since. Arcad was a thinker. It never occurred to him to say to himself that it just couldn't be done, and he might as well be reconciled to plod along in comparative property like the rest of the young men in his crowd. He knew it could be done if he were just able to find out how. So he kept on thinking and studying how he could share in the wealth so in evidence among many residents of this wealthy city. The result of his desire, coupled with his determination, was the discovery of a system that eventually led him to financial success. Not just ordinary success, but a most abundant success. This system, he explains to us. It is just as practical today as it was in those bygone days of ancient Babylon. The old prospectors of our pioneering mining days, those grisly veterans of much experience, had an expression they aptly used when gold was discovered in some new formation or some locality where, according to geology or experience, it should not exist. They would say, "Gold is where you find it." Arcad shows us that an abundance of gold can and probably does exist in places where we would not think to look for it, places quite within our reach, without any need of our rushing off to distant diggings where we may or may not find it. We can forgo the thirsty deserts, the icy mountains, in the fever-infested tropical swamps, and do our treasure hunting in much more congenial surroundings. He offers us a broad highway that will lead us safely and surely to the treasures we desire to find if we but have in us the instincts of true treasure hunters and the willingness to endure, as those old-timers endured, the privations and the labors that must be summoned before we can claim that gold ahead we sincerely desire. Moreover, he shows us that the rewards of treasure hunting by his system are fully as great as when men rush to distant gold fields, while the privations and hardships are certainly no more difficult. Success is waiting for those who have the willpower to go and get it. However, we must not get an erroneous impression that success is reserved for supermen and women. Such is not the case at all. We do not need to be a superman to have willpower. Willpower is something we can all have and use. Lest there be a mistaken conception of willpower, let me quote an apt definition from Arcad's own words. "Do not think willpower gives a man this strange ability to lift a burden the camel cannot carry, or to draw a load the oxen cannot budge. Willpower is but the unflinching purpose to carry a task you set for yourself to fulfillment. If I set for myself a task, be it ever so trifling, I shall see it through. How else shall I have confidence in myself to do important things?" In this bit of wisdom, Arcad has given us one of the cardinal principles to financial success, the idea of carrying through to our ultimate goal. It was certainly necessary for the treasure seekers of old. The laggers and the quitters never brought home their bags filled with gold. In writing the foreword to this book containing Mr. Carson's tales of the wise, rich men of old Babylon, I do so with the deep conviction that it is destined to take its place among that small group of classics that live on, because they have a message of inherent value to all men of all time period. Herein is a message of financial abundance, a broad road through this land of plenty which all can follow if they but have the intelligence and desire. Nature is lavish with her riches. She does not count the blades of grass or limit the number of leaves on the tree. She is equally liberal with the good things of life. They are here in abundance for those who will prepare themselves to share the plentiful supply. My conviction of a long and useful career for this book is based upon the fact that it offers help to every individual in solving their own personal financial problems with wisdom, and that still more important, it teaches in a clear, interesting, and never to be forgotten manner a true understanding of the principles underlining permanent financial success. It offers definite help to those wrestling with financial difficulties beyond their training. It supplies an understanding that will prove of the utmost value to the vast army of young folks who yearly leave our schools and colleges to make their way in this world where knowledge of money is so essential to their future usefulness and happiness. It has been my privilege to read many of the letters of approval on these tales of Babylon which are constantly coming to their author. Some are from the younger folks who have found in them just the wise guidance they need. By far the large number are from seasoned personalities whose long years of experience in finances and business give them a fine sense of appreciation for real merit. To them, the tales recall their own experiences, their long, hard struggles to achieve success, and often their costly financial mistakes. Mistakes that could have been so easily avoided had their vision been clearer or their experience more extensive. I am going to quote from one of these letters written by a gentleman in India. He had learned his financial wisdom, as can be easily recognized from this letter, in the bitter and expensive school of experience. Here is the way he expressed his appreciation of the wisdom of the richest man in Babylon. I only wish I could have had access to his wisdom during my younger years. It would have saved me from so many costly and unnecessary financial mistakes. It would have helped make my success so much greater. That my children may have full benefit of this wisdom when they are old enough to understand, I am now putting aside separate copies for each of them. This gentleman expresses my own feelings, and I consider it a privilege to add that hope all the young folks of the coming generations may share with his children the opportunity to know and use their own financial advancement by the wisdom found in the richest man in Babylon. Any effort on my part to convey to readers the contents of the following pages or to urge them to read and use them would be futile. The masterly touch of the author needs no explanation or commendation. To every person ambitious for greater financial success, and to all who desire to lead that fuller, richer life which financial success makes available, I recommend that they read this book. Let us all be treasure hunters. There is gold ahead, waiting to be claimed, plenty of it. We can all be successful treasure hunters. Let us be on our way. Gold is the medium by which we gain earthly success. Gold makes possible the enjoyment of the best the earth affords. Gold is plentiful for those who understand the simple laws that govern its acquisition. Gold is governed today by the same laws that controlled it when men thronged the streets of Babylon 6,000 years ago.